Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the NFL 2025 season, Week 11 prediction. Well, tomorrow is going to start another week, the Week 11, with the Thursday Night Football, where the New England Patriots are going to receive the New York Jets on Foxborough, Massachusetts, in Gillette Stadium, and 2015 is their time. So, for that reason, I'm recording this video where I'm going to talk about the games and my prediction. So let's start. Well, this week it's gonna to be played only 15 games because two teams will have a bye week. These two teams will be the Indianapolis Colts, the best team in the AFC, and the New Orleans Saints, one of the worst teams in the league. So let's start. How I told you in the beginning of the video, tomorrow is going to start with the Thursday Night Football, the divisional game where the Patriots, are going to receive the Jets. So about this game, the last week the Patriots traveled to Tampa Bay, Florida, and they didn't have any problem and defeated the Bucks 28-23. And the Jets come from a bye week and defeated the Cleveland Browns 27-20, and they won a back-to-back victories. In this moment, the Patriots are leading the AFC East with a 8-2 record, a 7 winning streak, and the Jets are in the bottom of the division with a 2-7 record, but a back-to-back victories. Remember that this is a divisional game, and usually in this kind of games, the team that the distance reduces. So I think that it's going to be an interesting game, but the Patriots are playing better than the Jets. I think that it's going to be a throw game, but in the end, I think that the Patriots won't have any problem, and they will win this game easily by more than 14-point difference. And the next Sunday is going to start very early because this next Sunday is going to be played the seventh and last international game of the season, where the Miami Dolphins are going to play against the Washington Commanders. This game is going to be played in Santiago Bernabéu Stadium in Madrid, Spain on 20:30 Eastern Time. Remember the last week the Dolphins did a surprise and they upset the Bills when they won that game 30-13, and the Commanders received the Detroit Lions and they lost at home 44-22, where in that game the most important is that the Donald Trump assisted to the game. He became the first U.S. president since the 1978 that assisted to a NFL game or a sport event in USA. So in this moment, both teams are eliminated, and then they don't have any possibility to qualify to the playoff. The Dolphins are in the third place in the AFC East with a 3-7 record, and the Commanders are in the third place in the AFC East with the same record, but the difference is that they have a 5 losing streak. So it's gonna to be I think that a board game, both teams are very bad. They are eliminated, but I think that I see a little better the Dolphins, how the way they play and defeated the Bills the last week, because they have is starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. And about the Commanders, is starting quarterback Jaden Daniels is out for the rest of the season because he got injured. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think that both teams are very bad. So I think that the Dolphins will win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. And I think that most probably the game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game. And in the other games, it will be played 7 games on 13 o'clock Eastern Time, where in the first game, the New York Giants are going to receive the Green Bay Packers. This game is going to be played in MetLife Stadium in New York, I think so, yeah. The last week, the Giants traveled to Chicago, and again they blew a lead and they lost the game 24-20. Thanks to this loss, the Giants front office decided to fire the head coach Brian Darnold for the bad performances, and he is out. And the offense coordinator is gonna took place as a head coach. Remember that in this season the New York Giants blew 4 games where they were leading the game by more than 10 point difference in the fourth quarter, and easily the Giants could be in this moment 5-5. And about the Packers, the last Monday they received the Philadelphia Eagles, were in an ugly, bad game. They lost the game 10-7. In this moment, the Giants are in the bottom in the NFC East with a 2-A record and a 4 losing streak. And the Packers are in they fell to the third place in the NFC North with a 5-3-1 record and a back-to-back losses. About the Packers, I am very surprised for the bad performance in the last two games, especially against the Panthers 2 weeks ago. So I think that this is a perfect opportunity to win the game. Remember that by the Giants, the starting quarterback Jason Darts is not going to play because he's in a concussion protocol. And the other, I don't remember the name of the starting quarterback, but Russell Wilson is going to be the backup. So I think that remember that this is here in Mexico that the head coach that debut, most of the time his team wins, but I think that this is going to be different. The Packers are a better team, and even though the Packers have been a struggle against the bad teams, I think that the Packers won't have any problem and they will win this game by more than 14-point difference. In another game, in an additional game, the Tennessee Titans are going to receive the Houston Texas. This game is going to be played in Nashville, Tennessee. The last week, the Titans had a bye week, and the Texas, this is a surprise because they defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 36-29, where the Texans were trailing by 19-point difference in the beginning of the fourth quarter. And even that, the Texans won that game without the CJ Stroud. So I think that the most probably the CJ Stroud is going to return to this game. In this moment, the Texans are in the third place in the AFC South, 4-5 record. They are one game below the Jaguars, and I think that maybe the victory of the last Sunday victory against the Jaguars maybe can be the tipping point that can help boost the Texas to try to qualify to the playoffs. And the Titans are in the bottom with a 1-A record, and they have a 4 losing streak. Remember that it's going to be the second game of the season for these two teams, where in the week 4, the Texas didn't have any problem and defeated and shut down the Titans 26-0. I think that the Texans will have the advantage, even though the Titans will come from a bye week. I think that the Texans will win this game by more than 10-point difference. And in another game, in another divisional game, the Atlanta Falcons are going to receive the Carolina Panthers. This game is going to be playing the Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Atlanta, Georgia. The last week, the Falcons traveled to Germany, and even that they forced the overtime, they lost against the Colts 31 by 25. And the Panthers lost in a very surprise way against his divisional rival, the New Orleans Saints, 17-7. In this moment, the Falcons are in the Panthers are in the second place in the NFC South, 5 record, a record of 500. This is a surprise because in this moment I didn't expect that they were in this position. And the Falcons, by surprise of everyone, they're in the third place in the division with a 3-6 record and they have a 4 losing streak. I think that the Falcons in this moment are one of the deception of the season. And remember that this is going to be the second game of the season between these two teams, because in the week 3, the Panthers did a surprise and they defeated and shut down the Falcons 30-0. So this is going to be a revanche for the Falcons, but the Falcons have been playing a very bad football for the season, and the most probably they are going to be eliminated. So I think that it's a divisional game. Is going to be a close game, but I think that the Panthers in this moment are better than the Falcons, and I think that the Panthers are going to win this game by 3 or 7 point difference, and this game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game. And in another divisional game, the Minnesota Vikings are going to receive the Chicago Bears. This game is going to be played in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The last week, the Vikings received the Baltimore Ravens, and they were dominated, and they lost that game 27 by 19. And the Chicago Bears could defeat the New York Giants, where they were trolling in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they could get the victory, and they won the game 24-20. In this moment, the Chicago Bears are one of the surprise of the season because they are in the second place in the NFC North with a 6-2 record and they have a back-to-back victories. And the Vikings are in the bottom in this division with a 5-4 record. Remember that this is the second game of the season for these two teams, where in the week one the big Vikings traveled to Chicago and defeated the Chicago Bears. Well, remember that in that game, the Bears dominated that game in the first three quarters. They had the game under control, but the Vikings made a lot of mistakes in the last quarter. The Bears took no, sorry, the Bears were dominating the game in the first two quarters. They dominated that game, but in the fourth quarter, the Bears made a lot of mistakes. The Vikings took advantage of that and they won that game, 27-24. So I think this is gonna to be a thorough game like the week one. But I think that in this moment the Bears are a better team than the Vikings. So I think that the Bears are going to win this game by 1 or 3 point difference. And I think that this game is going to be defined in the last play of the game. And in another great game, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to receive the Los Angeles Chargers. This game is going to be played in Jacksonville, Florida. The last week, the Jacksonville Jaguars hosted a 19 point lead in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they lost that game 56-29. And the Los Angeles Chargers didn't have any problem and defeated my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 25-10 in the Sunday Night Football. In this moment, the Jaguars are in the second place in the AFC South with a 5-4 record. And in this moment, they are they are in playoff position. They are in playoff. No, they are in the hunt to enter to the playoff position. And the Los Angeles Chargers in this moment are in the second place in the AFC West with a 7-3 record, and they have a 3 winning streak. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think that the Jaguars need to win this game because it's a very important game to try to increase their possibilities to enter to the playoff. But I see that, but I think that the Chargers in this moment are playing better and they're the favorite team. But it's always very difficult game where the West team go to play against an East team in the East house in the 13 o'clock Eastern time. So it's going to be a thorough game where I think that the Chargers are going to win this game by 1 or 3 point difference, and then most probably the game is going to be defined in the last play of the game. And in another tremendous game, I think that the second best game of the best game of the week, the Buffalo Bills are going to receive the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game is going to be played in Buffalo, New York. The last week, both teams lost their games, and this was a surprise. The last week, the Bills traveled to the south of the country, to Florida, and lost by surprise of everyone against the Miami Dolphins 30-13. And the Bucs received the Patriots, and they play a very bad game, and they lost against the Patriots 28-23 in the Tom Brady's Super Bowl. So it's going to be an interesting game where in this moment the Bills are in the second place in the AFC East with a 6-2 record, and it looks like that in this year they are not going to win this division because the Patriots are playing a tremendous football. And even with the loss, the Buccaneers are still leading the NFC South with a 6-2 record. It's going to be an interesting game. I think that both teams need the victory to continue increasing the possibility to enter to the playoff. But I think that the Bills are going to win this game because they will play in home. And I think that the game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game, if not in the last play of the game. And the Bills are going to win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. And in another game, in a divisional game, my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are going to receive the Cincinnati Bengals. This game is going to be played in the Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The last week, the Steelers traveled to the West Coast and they lost against the Los Angeles Chargers 25-10, where it was, in my opinion, the worst game that Aaron Rodgers has played in this season so far. And the Bengals had a bye week. In this moment, the Steelers are still leading the AFC North with a 5-4 record. The problem is that in this moment, the Ravens are 1 game below the Steelers. They are playing better. And if the Steelers lose this game and the Ravens win this game against the Browns, the Steelers are going to fall to the second place, and the Bengals are in the third place in the NFC North with a 3-0 record. They have a back-to-back losses, and it looks very difficult that they can qualify. About this game, remember in the week 7, in the Thursday Night Football, The Steelers traveled to Cincinnati, and the Bengals upset the Steelers 31. So the Steelers will want to take revenge for that. I think that it's going to be a close game like it was in the week 7. But I think that the Steelers will take advantage of that game, and because the Steelers will play in home, I think the Steelers are going to win this game by 3 or 7 point difference, and the most probably this game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game. And in another game, there will be played two games on 16:05 Eastern Time in a divisional game. The Arizona Cardinals are going to receive the San Francisco 49ers. This game is going to be played in Arizona. They remember that last week the Cardinals traveled to Seattle and they were humiliated where they lost that game 44-22, and the 49ers couldn't compete against the Rams where they lost at home 42-26. In this moment, the 49ers are in the third place in the NFC West with a 6-4 record, but because this conference is very close, in this moment the 49ers are out of the playoff position, and the Cardinals are in the bottom of the division in the NFC West with a 3-6 record. Remember that this is the second place this will be the second place that these two teams will play in home, where in the week 3 the 49ers defeated the Cardinals 16-15, where the Cardinals in that game played better than the 49ers, but they couldn't get the victory. So it's going to be a throw game like the week 3, and I think that this game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game. But I think that the 49ers in this moment are better team than the Cardinals, and the 49ers are going to win this game by 3 point difference. And in another game, I think that the best game of the week in a divisional game, the Los Angeles Rams are going to receive the Seattle Seahawks. This game is going to be played in the SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The last week, the Rams traveled to Santa Clara, California, and defeated the 49ers 42-26. And the Seattle Seahawks play against the Arizona Cardinals. They received them, and they didn't have any problem and won that game easily 44-22. In this moment, both teams have the same record, 7-2. They are tied in the NFC West with the same record, and four teams have a 4 winning streak. So it's going to be an interesting game, a thought game, where I think that the winner of this game will increase the possibilities to win this division. So I think that this is going to be a tremendous game. I think that we'll see a lot of points, and I think that this game is going to be defined in the last play of the game. And I think that the most probably this game can be defined in the overtime. So I think that because the Rams will play home, the Rams will win this game by 1 or 3 point difference. And there will be play another two games at 16:25 Eastern Time, where in the divisional game, the Denver Broncos are going to receive the Kansas City Chiefs. This game is going to be played and Denver, Colorado. The last week, the Broncos in an ugly game, they defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 10-7 in the Thursday Night Football. But to be honest, it was a very bad game played, where the prime games played the last week were a very ugly and bored games, and the Kansas City Chiefs had a bye week. In this moment, the Broncos are leading the AFC West with an 8-2 record and a 7 winning streak, but they are not playing a very great football, especially in the offense side. And the Kansas City Chiefs in this moment, they have a 5-4 record, and in this moment they are out of the playoffs. So this is a must victory for the Chiefs, because I think that if they lose this game, then most probably they are not going to qualify to the playoffs. So I think that the Broncos offenses has been struggling a lot, but thanks to his defensive side, they have won the game. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think that the Broncos have the advantage because they have been playing a better football in the offense side, because the Broncos will have a long way, 10 days to prepare this game, but in the same time the Chiefs will have 14 games to prepare this game, and because this is a must victory for them, I think that the Chiefs are going to win this game by 1 or 3 point difference, and then most probably this game is going to be defined in the last game of the season. And no, the last game of they are going to win the game. And in another game, in a divisional game, the Cleveland Browns are going to receive the Baltimore Ravens. This game is going to be played in Cleveland, Ohio. The last week, the Cleveland traveled to New York and they lost against the Jets 27-20. To be honest, when you lose against the Jets, you are a very bad team. And the Ravens traveled to Minnesota. They didn't have any problem and defeated the Vikings 27-19. In this moment, the Ravens are in the second place in the AFC North with a 4-5 record and 3 winning streak, and the Browns are in the bottom with a 2-7 record with a back-to-back victories. The Ravens have been playing a very good football. They started very bad the season, but now after the bye week they have recovered, and now the good news for them is that for the rest of the season they are going to play against bad teams. So the most probably that the Ravens are going to win this division, and unfortunately my Steelers are going to lose the postseason. So remember that these two teams play in the week 1 in the week 2, where in that game the Ravens didn't have any problem and won that game 41-17. I know that in the last season, when the Browns Ravens play in Cleveland, most of the time this has been a close and thorough game, and most of the time the Browns have won this game. But I think that in this moment the Ravens are better. But I think it's going to be a tough game. But in the end, I think that the Ravens are going to win this game by 3 or 7 point difference, and they're going to win this game in the last minutes of the game. And in the Sunday Night Football, in a tremendous game, one of the 3 best games of the season of the week, the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning champion team, are going to receive the Detroit Lions. This game is going to be played in the Lincoln Field Stadium on Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in 2020 Eastern Time. The last week, the Eagles traveled to Lambeau Field, Wisconsin, and they defeated the Green Bay Packers 10-7 in an ugly and bored game. And the Lions didn't have any problem. They traveled to the capital of the country and defeated the Washington Commanders 44-22. In this moment, the Philadelphia Eagles are leading the NFC East with a 7-2 record. They have a 3 winning streak. In this moment, they are the best team in the NFC, and the Lions are leading East Division, the NFC North, with a 6-3 record. It's going to be a tremendous game. This could be a potential NFC Championship game, where I think that in this moment, even that the Eagles are not playing a very great football, they are a winner team, and they know how to win this kind of game. So I think that this is going to be a close game, but in the end, the Eagles will play home. They are a winner team, and the Eagles are going to win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. And I think that this game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game. And in the last game of the day, in the Monday of the week, in the Monday Night Football, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to receive the Dallas Cowboys. This game is going to be played in the Alligator Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, and 2015 Eastern Time. The last week, the Raiders traveled to Denver, and they lost in a board game against the East Divisional rival, the Denver Broncos, 10-7. And the Dallas Cowboys had a bye week. In this moment, the Ravens are in the border of the AFC West with a 2-7 record, and they have a 3 losing streak. And the Cowboys are in the second place in the NFC East with a 3-5-1 record and a back-to-back losses. So I think that the Cowboys are a better team. That the Raiders are one of the worst team in the league, and because the Cowboys will have that 14 days to prepare this game, I think that the Cowboys won't have any problem, and they will win this game by more than 10 point difference. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can write me in any of my social media platforms. So see you next video. Gibran.